A couple videos ago I bought a truck, and on today's video I buy another truck. Today we're going to concentrate on probably the most boring car that I've bought in a long time. My new to me 2013 F-150. We should be able to tow comfortably. The interior is nice and comfortable, the AC works, the heat works. It's in pretty decent shape. There's a blemish here and there. That might be bird poop or something that I just touched. But I really don't want a clean truck anyway. This is probably the worst market in the history of the world to buy a truck in because of the chip shortage and just people needing trucks and not being able to find them. With this one coming up, I knew it was going to sell quick, so I just bought it without even really looking at it too much. From what I've read, this thing can tow like 7,800 pounds. 7.3 Power Stroke was supposed to be one of the best motors ever, according to fanboys and stuff, but this truck has the real best motor ever. This truck is equipped with the 5-liter V8 from Ford known as the Coyote. This was one of the main reasons I wanted this truck, even though it has higher miles. I know most of the quirks with the Coyote. I have a bunch of parts laying around for this motor. If anything does go wrong, I'm pretty sure I can figure it out. I already have a code scanner that works with this, but I have a lot of faith in this motor. I'm a little concerned that it doesn't have the coil covers on it. I'm not sure what that was about. Maybe they did the plugs and forgot to put the coil covers back on. I'm not sure about that. I think the firing order is a little different on the truck Coyotes and the intake's different. I think the intake cams are a little different. Can't remember all the differences, but for the most part, this is the same motor that is in the 2011 Mustang. So even with 126,000 miles or whatever, I think this motor will be fine. Knock on plastic. If you couldn't tell from the outside, this is 4-wheel drive. It has 2-wheel drive, 4 high and then 4 low. It's not full-time or anything. You can turn the traction control off. You can turn the passenger airbag off in case you got a baby or something. Got 12 volts here, climate controls, another 12-volt port here. The zone is 127,000 miles. And with this being a 2013, it doesn't have all the latest and greatest things. There's no backup camera, which is my main gripe. It does have sync. Pretty much all the functions that the 2011 Mustang has, which 11-year-old car now, which kind of sucks, it's so outdated. I love the motor in the 2011 Mustang. It's been really good to me, so I feel like this should be pretty good. Another one of my least favorite parts of this truck is that the steering wheel is like so worn out just on the top. Whoever owned this truck before me must have just had their hand here, like just angry. This truck is kind of brodozer-ish. I'm sure the previous owner was a nice guy, but why did you grip this, just this top part? I might take this thing to get detailed because Jones didn't really clean this very well, so there is some grime in here from, I hope it's nobody's like spit cup or something. Hopefully the previous owner wasn't a chewer. But with it being a 2013, you don't have the big screens that a lot of modern trucks have. But if you've shopped for a truck in the last year or so, they are very expensive. I could have bought a newer truck, but it would have been a lot more. I would have been spending probably at least 10 grand more for something that's a little more up to date. And I really wanted to have the 5-liter. I know a lot of people love EcoBoost motors, but I love turbo 6-cylinder motors, but I just really wanted the Coyote. So to get a Coyote truck, even 2-wheel drive, I saw one that had like 200,000 miles and they still wanted almost $20,000. So with this having 127-ish, I feel like it was still a pretty solid deal. Probably not the best deal in the world, but I didn't feel like waiting for all this crazy chip shortage stuff to blow over. So I know it's really financially irresponsible to buy another truck so soon, but there's a couple really big reasons why I needed this and why right now might be a good time. First of all, I don't have a dependable means of transportation, especially being the winter time is coming up. I don't have anything that I could drive in any sort of weather. The other reason is because I need something to tow with. The diesel van was supposed to be my tow rig, and obviously that didn't go very well. Another big reason that I needed this kind of now is because it's about to be fall. I currently don't have a way to get leaves and foliage to any kind of dump. So with this being a truck with a bed, I can actually throw stuff in the back of it and take it to the dump and dispose of it properly. I don't want to start a brush fire to burn off a bunch of leaves and stuff, so that'll be nice. parking lot's getting full. I'm probably never gonna have passengers in the back of this thing because I don't have friends. But it doesn't look like they cleaned it up very well. These speaker vents are kind of dirty. Somebody's put their beer in there or something. There's a couple cup holders, side pockets. Got these big pouches here. There's nothing in there. Get another couple cup holders right in here. Also a cigarette lighter port so you can charge stuff. It's covered in dog hair because I let Butters ride in this thing a couple times already, and we try to keep him in the back. He doesn't really stay in the back. He just kind of runs wherever he wants. And then these rear seats can fold up, which is pretty convenient. If we want some added storage, you wind up folding up and then you can lock them so they don't flop around or fall down, which is pretty neat. You can do the same thing with this side too. More dog hair. You get your little Shiwi funnel in case you ever run out of gas. This is the same on the Mustang. So all this room with the Super Cab, it's going to allow us to put a lot of tools and stuff back here. So when I'm towing one of the cars, I can have like the wheels in the back, which is going to be covered, and then keep all the important tools like the impact and some other stuff in the back and not have to worry about it getting stolen unless somebody busted out the window or something, which usually doesn't happen at a racetrack. If it does, usually there's people there watching that would kick their ass. On this side, same thing, a little bit of dirt here and there. Jones didn't really clean this thing up very well, but whatever. I was kind of in a rush to get it. I think somebody would have bought this really quick if I didn't buy it. Because I'm not really concerned about having rear seats, I might wind up taking these out at some point. And also put the headrest down if you want so you can see out the rear a little bit better. Still not sure how I feel about the 4x4 stickers. The plastics aren't faded that bad. And trailer hitch looks pretty decent on it, so I don't think we'll have to do much as far as getting this ready to tow. It's also not as high as I thought it was going to be. With it being a 4x4, I was worried that the hitch was going to be a lot higher than the hitch on the van, but it's actually pretty similar in height. As far as I can tell, I'm not going to need a drop hitch or anything. This should be good to go. There's like a plug here that's missing. I don't know what that was. Looks like the trailer hitch plug is right here for whenever I get a trailer. Probably just going to rent one from our friends at U-Haul. Again, also definitely got to get rid of this. Jones gave me a pretty decent deal on this, but I'm not sponsored. I'm not shouting you guys out more than this video. So I'm gonna take a heat gun to this and get that off. Inside the bed, the cover's not very waterproof, it seems. We had a bit of rain over the last couple days and it did get a little wet in here, but it does have a nice spray-on bed liner. See, it was done pretty well and nice and thick. That's another thing that I probably would have done to a truck. Glad that it had that already done. It's one less thing to worry about. It's hard to find a place that'll do it and do it well. This cover seems pretty nicely made. It's got like a pop-up kind of thing. Wish it actually had a truck cap on it, but oh well, still pretty cool. Up front, you got some more storage insides. There's some grime there. Another cup holder. All of these buttons and switches are really similar to the S197 Mustang. Even the door handles look like a big version of the GT Premium handles that were originally on my car. Same thing with the door locks. I'm pretty sure that all these parts are the same and also interchangeable. Vents are a little bit different than the 2011 Mustang, and so is this. It might have been the same on the 2013, I'm not sure. One of my favorite things is all the storage in this truck. You can see more dog hair, but there's this big center console. It's got all this room here for fitting cameras. It's a little dirty inside there. Then this folds up and you can use it as a bench seat, which is pretty cool. Not that I'd ever have 3 people in here up front, especially. Like, I don't want anybody touching my leg unless it's your mom. You have this little tray here that pulls out and it becomes another couple cup holders. So if you want a lot of cup holders, this is a cool truck to have. You have 2 cup holders here, one on the far side, then 2 there. So you have access to 5 cup holders just from the driver's seat, plus the 2 that are in the rear. It's a lot of cup holders. I don't know why you would need so many, but if you drink a lot, nice to have options, I guess. Then if you want a little more storage, you can fold this up and you got a little stash area there. You also have a little shelf here, cigarette lighter power, USB, you have an aux cable port. You got another little cave in there. This will fit most smaller iPhones. I don't think the Pro Max fits in. And then you got a little tray there, and then you got one all the way on the dash. Up top, you got some sunglass holders there, and a second one here. And there's actually a pair of sunglasses in here. I was expecting a pair of white Oakleys, but I guess the camo Oakleys is a good alternative. These look disgusting. They're probably not even real Oakleys. They feel really light. They look kind of scratched up. It looks like a dog chewed them up too, so I'll probably throw these away. This definitely looks like the type of sunglasses that somebody who owns this type of truck would have. And then, of course, your sun visor with a mirror, which is also dirty. Thank you, Jones, for not cleaning I do like how these gauges look. It's got that nice like pale blue. I love that color. It's almost like grabber blue on the gauges. Again, not as fancy as some of the digital stuff, but I like it. I like this thing a lot. Also, the AC works pretty well, which is great because I don't really have a vehicle that has AC. Except for the 2011 Mustang, the AC does work in that car, but as far as like a normal driving vehicle, I don't have anything with AC. But anyway, let's go for a drive and I'll just talk to the camera and tell you about some of the stuff I like, some of the stuff I don't like, and all that. Because the windshield's so big, this was hard to actually set up. I'm not used to having this much room. When you compare this truck to the Datsun 620, it's huge. That's what she said! I've only had this thing for a few weeks, so I haven't really put any miles on it, to be honest. Inside the truck, you can hear the exhaust a little bit. It's not overly obnoxious, in my opinion. Some people might think it is. Something else that sounds kind of weird in the truck is the blinkers. They sound a little fast. I'm not sure if you can hear it on the lav. It sounds like one of the bulbs is burnt out, you know, when blinkers go a little quick, but all the lights are fine. I'm not sure what gives the blinkers its rhythm, but whatever it is, it sounds a little off. You can hear that there's a little rattle here and there, but it's not the quietest vehicle I've ever been in, but it's definitely quieter than anything else that I own. The Mustang, it's just all pops and creaks and rattles and all noise. The Datsun, it's all noise. It's a tin can with really loud exhaust. So this is somewhat livable. Like I could drive this for an hour and I think I'd feel pretty comfortable. I haven't taken it on any kind of road trips yet. Any kind of road trips to the track probably won't even happen this year because it's so late in the season. It's already October. A lot of the tracks are shutting down for the year, so it was probably premature even buying this truck, which I probably should have waited a little bit longer until springtime, but who knows what's going to happen with prices. They might get worse, they might get better. Either way, I feel like this was a pretty decent purchase. Definitely not financially ready for it, but whatever. You make decisions and you don't look back. With this having a Coyote 5-liter V8, this also has the 6-speed auto. This is obviously going to be the all-wheel drive version, but the 6-speed auto that came in this generation of trucks and Mustangs is pretty dependable, pretty reliable. I know a lot of people who were running ridiculous quarter-mile times with the Mustang version of this transmission and this motor. I think everything should be fine on it, I think. I obviously didn't buy this for something fast. The Mustang and the Datsun are my fast cars, but I almost think that this might be faster than the Skyline. I'm not sure. The Skyline's getting painted right now, so I can't really test that theory, but I think from a dead stop, this might be quicker than the R32 GTST with a stock RB25. That is the DET version of the RB25 also. Stock boost only 8 pounds, but I think that this is quicker, which is pretty impressive being that this thing probably weighs, I don't know, 6,000 pounds. It weighs this much. When I test drove it, I did a couple pulls because I wanted to make sure it didn't have a miss and make sure it pulled steady. Probably accelerated a lot harder on this truck than most people would, and it took it pretty well. There was no misses. Check engine lights, obviously not on, which is another good thing about the Coyote. There's a lot of different sensors, and it kind of runs its own diagnostics and whatnot. Oil pressure was good, temps are good. Overall, it seems really clean for having this many miles. I think this might have been like a work truck for like a foreman or project manager kind of thing. Like it's more luxurious than most work trucks. The seats weren't ripped up. It wasn't too dirty. I feel like a lot of people that if they were working construction and this was their work truck, the dirt would just be caked on. But this is a lot cleaner than I thought it would be. The wear on the steering wheel isn't enough that I want to replace it or anything. Surprisingly, there was a Carfax that was pulled on this from the dealership. It showed no major accidents. A lot of trips for maintenance to different dealerships and different shops, so it wasn't a car guy working on his own stuff, I guess. It was somebody that would just go to a dealership or a garage and have their work done, which is kind of nice because you have a paper trail when you do that kind of stuff if you're worried about resale value, which I'm not. I'm going to do my own oil changes on this. With the 2011 Mustang, there wasn't much maintenance that I had to do. Maybe like diff fluid, brakes, that kind of stuff, but I just kind of did that as I upgraded the car. With this, I might go through and maybe do the drivetrain fluids. I'm not sure yet, just to be safe. I need to look through the Carfax and see what was actually done and when it was done. Because if they did get a diff fluid change, I imagine they did take it to a shop. Four-wheel drive wasn't a necessity, but it will come in handy being that it is going to be winter soon. Within the next month or two, we're probably going to see snow, and none of the other vehicles are going to be driven in the snow. We can't drive that 620 or the Mustang or the Skyline. The Volvo I could drive in the snow, but the heat doesn't really work. And when the windshield gets all frosty and stuff, it's just really bad trying to clean that thing off. With this, I got four-wheel drive. I have heat. It doesn't have heated seats, which again, I didn't expect the most luxurious truck or anything. With this truck being kind of basic, I actually like that it has cloth seats. Cloth seats are very underrated. In the summertime, leather and vinyl gets really hot. In the wintertime, it gets cold. But cloth always stays kind of an average temperature. It does get warmer or colder, obviously, but it doesn't burn your skin when you put your arm on it. So yeah, cloth seats, I think more cars should have them. On back roads, this thing handles pretty well. It's quiet-ish. The steering wheel's not sloppy or anything. It doesn't feel like I'm driving a bus. Steering's pretty tight. I think this has electric power steering like the Mustang. The brake pedal's nice and high. Sounds like the window seals are nice and tight. There's no like drafty noises or any kind of wind noise really. It's really quiet and comfortable. This truck is so comfortable that even with it being kind of boring compared to the other vehicles, I kind of want to drive this more. Maybe I'm getting old. This definitely feels a lot better on my back than some of the other cars. The seats have like a nice lumbar support also, and a little bit of bolstering or whatever. Bolster, balls. It kind of hugs you a little bit. Nice little gentle hug from this truck. Just hugging me, telling me that everything's going to be all right and that we're going to be friends for a long time, which I hope, because this is also the first vehicle that I had to finance in a long time. The 620, I have a little bit of a personal loan I got to pay off, but this is an actual bank loan, which kind of sucks. I hate car payments, but it also means less money for project cars and stuff, but I think it's worth it. I really do. And I think that me and this truck are going to have a long, beautiful friendship. I hope. You better be better than the van. Please be better than the van. That's all I'm asking. This isn't going to be a truck channel or anything, I swear. Just coincidence I happen to buy a couple trucks, like right after another. Overall, I really like this truck. Happy with it. Satisfying purchase. Oh, I'm so in debt. I am so in debt right now. Please watch all my videos so I can pay this off. I need as much ad revenue as I can possibly get. So low RPM, it's pretty quiet and tame. Overall, the exhaust isn't too annoying. I could definitely daily this and not really piss off the neighbors too much, I think. It's not like it has Roush axlebacks or like a Corsa Extreme. A little louder than I want it, but whatever. It's not too bad. So a couple things that I don't like. The exhaust, kind of iffy on that still. Not having a backup camera kind of sucks. But I feel like the main thing that I didn't like when I looked at this truck was the color. I'm not a big fan of red, I hate to admit. I like certain reds. I really like the red that was on my 2011 Mustang. I like candy apple reds, but this bright red, it's called vermilion red. I guess it's pretty similar to race red. I know a lot of people love that color. Amanda likes it. My friend Andy Howard has a bunch of cars and trucks that happen to be race red, but I'm not a big fan of race red, honestly. This kind of looks like the truck that they would give to a fire department chief or something. Not that I have anything against the fire department. I love the fire department. Thank you for your service and stuff. But I will admit that the color's starting to grow on me a bit. Seeing this in the driveway every day, looking at it, I kind of like it a lot better. The other thing I don't like is the chrome. This was still the generation where chrome was cool, I guess, so it's got the plastic chrome grille. I could plastic dip it or paint it and black it out, but I don't know if the black and the red are gonna look right, and there's not really like a contrasting color that looks right with this particular shade of red. So with that said, probably not touching any of that chrome stuff. I would like to get some different wheels because these wheels are kind of boring. They're just stock. And with me not liking the color, I think maybe in a year or so I might plastic dip this. I haven't plastic dipped anything in like a year, but this might be a good candidate for something. I still have my nice sprayer and everything, so maybe I'll try to do like a cool color or something. I don't know. I really don't want another project. I just want something simple. And this truck's kind of common looking enough that it blends in. It's kind of nice to just blend in every now and then. The other vehicles don't blend in at all. The Mustang gets a ridiculous amount of attention because it's loud and has TEs on it, and it has that grapeness paint on it now. The Skyline's probably going to be a color flip again. The Datsun truck, same thing. It's loud, obnoxious, and you never see a Datsun 620 anywhere. And even the Volvo, being that it's just a $500 Volvo from the 80s, that thing gets a stupid amount of attention. I've had people wait outside of a Walmart so they could tell me they liked my car. That's supposed to be the boring car, but with this, I can just blend in. Nobody really cares about an F-150 with stock wheels, with a chrome grille. With the exhaust, it might get a little bit of attention, but overall, just the looks, this is a boring truck. That's why I said this is the most boring vehicle that I've bought in a long time. Probably since my last Volkswagen, which will be my last Volkswagen. I'll never buy a Volkswagen ever again. Anyway, with this being boring, I can pick my nose again and not have to worry about somebody looking at me. It's boring. Who's gonna care? Nobody's gonna care. Not sure what that tip is, but I don't know. It looks like it's just some sort of hacked together exhaust, to be honest. Muffler looks like it might be a Flowmaster, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna climb under and see at some point. It kind of sounds like the Mustang, but it doesn't have that whining of the supercharger. Yesterday I was doing some filming and driving around and stuff, and I discovered that this thing does burnouts easier than almost every vehicle that I have. Just turn the traction control off. Because it's an auto, I can just power brake it. Get out of my way, snowflakes. Real man coming through. Alpha man. I really want to get new wheels and tires, but not this soon. There's already a bubble on this thing. God damn it, Butters. I don't think I did anything to cause that. Maybe it'll fix this. If they don't, I'll bitch about it in the next clip. Another thing I'm not really a fan of is the fuel economy. It was at 14 miles to the gallon. Now it's at 20, and I am driving as slow as I possibly can, and I cannot get it to go above 20-ish. This is after like 5 minutes of driving. Probably gonna reset it on the highway, see how that does, but so far the fuel economy is bad. And Jones did not give me a full tank, which I should have told him to throw that in, because that was probably another $100. They might have done that, I don't know. Thank you again to Jones Junction for the deal. So let's do one smallish little pull, because I need to get by this guy that's carrying a bunch of trees in the back of his truck with the tailgate down. I mean, it's quickish for a truck. I feel like it's a lot of noise for not much, but it is a little bit quicker than I thought it would be with it being a big truck. With it having exhaust, I do kind of feel brodozer-ish. Like, I don't want to make that much noise, so maybe I'll try to find a stock exhaust for this or something. I mean, I like that it's loud, but I don't want to be one of those truck douchebags, because there's so many of them. No offense if you're one of those truck douchebags, but you know who you are. You got a four-wheel drive, either F-150 or Dodge, and it's loud with your truck that probably runs 15s, and you're going to Sheets and you're just revving the crap out of it, and then you're taking off down the street 12 o'clock at night. Maybe just quiet it down a little bit there. Maybe I'm becoming what I hate. Maybe I'm gonna get some white Oakleys and I'm just gonna drive around in my truck with some stretched tires, being loud and obnoxious, doing burnouts late at night through people's neighborhoods. Maybe this is growing up. If you're in the market for a truck, I really think that this is the sweet spot. You have the modern Coyote platform. The drivetrain is going to be pretty bulletproof on this. The interior's quietish. The body is still steel, so if something does happen and you get some dings on your truck, you can repair it a little bit easier than the aluminum body. You don't have all the amenities of the newer generation, and of course the facelift and the newer look. But do you really need that in a truck? Do you really need all that stuff? Do you really need to spend $80,000 on a truck so you can have the leather and the big screen and all the little buttons? Or can you just buy this for 1/4 of the price? And if it gets a ding in it, you don't care. If you spill your coffee, you don't really care too much. With that $80,000 truck, if you get a scratch, you're gonna cry. In my humble opinion, I think that a truck should be a tool. It should be for utility. It's pretty cool that a lot of them are luxury vehicles now, but they're just so expensive. And I really can't justify spending $1,200 a month for something that I'm gonna throw some old burnt up tires in and tools and my dirty impact wrench. It just makes sense to spend less and you kind of get more. I can get more use out of this. But anyway, that's just my opinion. You can do whatever you want. I'm not your mother. America's a free country. Do what you want. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you on the next one. I probably won't buy another vehicle in the next video, I don't think. I'm satisfied with the fleet right now. I might sell some, I don't know. Anyway, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you later. Now I have a Coyote truck and an LS powered truck. Maybe we should compare them and see which one's faster, and see which one has the superior motor. And of course this one's gonna be faster. This thing's fast.